Hello and welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And, well, Liverpool have played 3 games this season. They're unbeaten in 3. They've come away with 1 trophy already. 3 competitive games this, because we're not counting the League Cup, the Community Shield even. We're not going
to count that either when it comes to that.
Unless we win it.
Because them's the rules.
Yeah, exactly. So Liverpool have beaten Norwich 4-1. They drew with Chelsea 2-2 after extra time and then beat them on penalties thanks to the greatest goalkeeper to ever play the game. And then survived a late scare because of the worst goalkeeper to ever play the game to defeat Southampton 2-1.
Who these goalkeepers are will stun you.
Well, yes. It's a riddle. Yes, so I mean, let's start at the positives. As in the league,
perfect
start. Exactly as good as you can be on the points board. 6 goals across the 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 goals we've conceded are a little bit concerning.
Little bit. Obviously against Norwich. Pookie, we've got to say that Pookie was really, really good all game. Had a fair few shots, was causing himself a nuisance, but it did come about from us switching off a little bit at the back.
Yeah,
which is a little bit concerning because it's not something that we really saw last season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second goal we conceded was just a bit of lunacy by our goalkeeper, and we've always got to have it. Alisson did it against Leicester.
Yeah, it does happen.
Mignolet did it every other game.
Well, I mean, Simon Mignolet, it's funny you should mention Simon Mignolet because, we're talking about Norwich there and he's probably sat there watching it at home in Belgium just like, Alisson,
Bastard.
Really good goalkeeper him, makes a fantastic save, yes Alisson, and then Alisson gets injured.
Yeah.
And there's a part of him that must have absolutely fucking died because he was waiting for that opportunity. And the fella who's come in for him, Adrian, I mean, starting at the positives, he was fantastic against Southampton.
Yep.
For a long period of that game.
Made a really, really good save in the first half.
Really great save from Yoshida. He makes a very smart save as well from Joe Mata, actually, in the second half. He makes a couple of really good saves in the Super Cup as well. There's one in particular where somebody goes through one-on-one.
I think he keeps Pulisic out or something.
Yeah, I think he goes through one-on-one and he goes to go round him and he deals with it. He gets the ball like Alisson did against Jesse Lingard last season at United. So obviously he's taking his chance. It must be gutting to be Simon Mignolet. But Adrian has cost Liverpool a goal there.
A little bit, yeah. But importantly, it hasn't cost us points.
Yeah, and that's what we said about Alisson last season. And
yeah.
Obviously we're talking about 2 goalkeepers who are vastly different goalkeepers. We're talking about one who's in his peak and is the best goalkeeper in the world, and then we're talking about another one who was training with a 6th-tier Spanish team for the last couple of months. Different levels. But yeah. Adrian has, for my money, done pretty well for this season.
I think he has. I think he's come in and he's done his job. He's being the backup goalkeeper. He's being reliable enough to be called upon if Alisson gets injured. Mm-hmm. He's under no impressions that he's going to retain his starting berth when Alisson comes back.
Yeah,
none of us are, but he's performing well enough. It's just one of them. Especially with the football that we playing out from the back, trying to draw players out so we can utilise the space. It's gonna happen. It happens to keepers. It happened to Alisson. It happened to Carragher. It happened to Mignolet. He couldn't even pass the ball, but he did it loads. It's just one of them that we're gonna have to. I remember having this exact same conversation after last year. It's just one of them we're gonna have to get used to.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the kind of high risk football that we play, and hopefully now that he's done it, it's out of the way. He won't do it again.
Yeah, I mean. That's the hope, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, is that the only issue with Liverpool's defensively so far this season? So far this season, Liverpool have caught an opposition player offside 9 times in the first 2 games of the season. it looks to be something Liverpool are actively trying to do more. I mean, we were great at it last season as well, particularly from set pieces.
Yeah.
But this time it seems to be in actual, like, in open play.
Yeah, it's a lot higher line that we're playing into, and we thought that maybe that was just the game plan for Norwich when we saw it at City, but it seems to be. We were playing like that in all 3 games so far. With a high line, just trying to spring us offside trap.
Well, that's it. We originally, as we thought it was going to be for Norwich. That's why we played against City like that, because we were just practicing for a game against Norwich like that. But we've played against Chelsea the same way. We played against Southampton a similar way. We probably go into playing Arsenal the same way this week. And with Arsenal, the start they've made to the season, they're the only team with Liverpool who've kept a 100% record so far. Second week of the season, madness.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is at the moment. So one team will remain. Well, one team has the capability of keeping their 100% record this season. This weekend, Liverpool's high defensive line could play into Arsenal's hands.
It could. They do have some very quick forwards.
Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe.
Yeah.
Just to name a couple. Reece Nelson, just to name a couple.
That Ceballos looked really, really good as well against whoever he played, Burnley.
It's Gini Wijnaldum territory, that though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just own the midfield against him.
What do you think the reason why we're playing such a high line? Do you think it's purely to catch out offside, or do you think it's to compress the pitch and help out the midfield? I think maybe save legs over the course of the season.
You see, I could see it being compressing to be about compressing the pitch, but it's one thing compressing the pitch. It's another thing actively looking to play people offside, and I think Liverpool are actively looking to play people offside. So you see a couple of instances where Virgil van Dijk is basically just letting people run through. Basically under the impression that they're going to be offside. And that's not to say, like, I think they go into it thinking that they're quick enough to catch anyone. Gomez and Van Dijk are quick enough to catch anybody running back. I think the pair of them have got an arrogance about them that they can do that. And I don't think it holds up well when they're chasing after the likes of... Well, we'll see this weekend, but it won't. I don't think it'll hold up particularly well against the likes of Aubameyang and against the likes of Nicolas Pepe. Just quick player, not quick players. Van Dijk's a quick player, lightning quick players. Like Joe Gomez, I think might actually be the quickest player at Liverpool. Like he's not.
I think he won a speed test.
Yeah, against Mane, wasn't it? So I could be worrying about nothing with that, but it's just. Liverpool, Gary Neville made a very good point about it on Monday Night Football, where he was talking about basically Liverpool haven't won the Champions League. You go into the season feeling pretty invincible and feeling like you're the best team around, and then you start making maybe lapses of judgment because
arrogant mistakes.
Exactly, arrogant mistakes. And there's one in particular in the Southampton game where Virgil van Dijk just kind of lets Danny Ings run behind him, and Ings misses a sitter in the dying minutes, but it's a mistake that Virgil van Dijk wouldn't have made last season. Virgil van Dijk would have basically he keeps his line with Robertson rather than just filling the gap. And if you fill that gap, he's there to clear the cross, no problem whatsoever. But unfortunately, fortunately for Liverpool, Danny Ings misses, but it's a chance that I just don't think we probably concede at this stage last season.
Possibly
I think we're probably a little bit more switched on for it. I mean, it could also be down to the fact that Adrian's in goal rather than Alisson. If you've got this plan, you've worked on it all the way through pre-season, from when the Brazilian lads come back to the start of the season, you're working on this defensive plan, and then all of a sudden a goalkeeper comes in who's been at the club 2 weeks. And it's a new plan you've got to work on, and it's somebody else who's shouting at you to drop a couple of yards. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything like that, to be honest. It's just... I'm not a big fan of playing that high, because I do think that Liverpool, I think maybe might be relying a little bit on VAR as well.
I was going to say, do you not think that there's maybe another factor in the fact that we're playing such a high line in VAR? Even the most marginal offsides that wouldn't have been able to have been called last season can now be called offside, thanks to the technology. Just look at City on the opening game. Like, Raheem Sterling's armpit hair was offside.
I hated that decision.
Because maybe we're banking on stuff like that. Where maybe we are so confident in our defenders' ability to be able to spring an offside trap that we're going to trust VAR to be able to catch 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 when it's that marginal. And it allows us to press up the pitch higher. I know you're pulling faces, and I know it makes me feel a bit as well. But maybe that is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I think there might be something in that, because I do think.
And maybe we're just the first team to change how we play to do with the new rules. This is the biggest change to football. Like with the handball rules as well. This is the biggest change to football since the back pass rule in '92. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is, and it's part and parcel of the way Liverpool like it contributed to Liverpool not being as good. To be honest, if you ask anybody at all who was watching football back then, like Liverpool relied on that a lot. Do you know what I mean? Knocking it around the back, giving it back to the goalkeeper, being horrible. But I mean,
you'd fucking hate it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? It wouldn't make for good viewing at all, would it? But I don't know. I think the main problem I've got with Liverpool's defensive line at the moment is I don't think the line is good enough to justify playing offside the way we have been. You look at the goal we concede against Norwich, and Andy Robertson's at least 2 yards. 2 yards is nothing, but 2 yards when you're playing football is a fucking massive distance. So I think if you get that line right, you get that line perfect, and Liverpool are very good at it, but we haven't really been great at it this season so far, and I think once it'll come again with time. Maybe it's just tiredness still there, do you know what I mean? Maybe it's just players need a little bit of awareness, but it'll come again with time. But for the time being, I just think there's no harm in dropping another yard, 2 yards, you know what I mean? We're not talking massive distances here, and I'm not even saying we don't have to play a high line. I just think we have to be a bit more willing to chase, because at the end of the day, linesmen are supposed to, at this point in the season, they're supposed to be letting play go. They put the flag up, but then play is supposed to carry on until the move's ended, and then VAR will assess whether or not they were actually offside. So Liverpool will get caught out by that this season. Do you know what I mean? I foresee a chance this season where maybe Liverpool defenders all think that the attacker's offside. Play carries on. They score a goal. We've all stood still, let them run through. And then VAR looks at it and goes, oh no, they're onside.
It's your classic play to the whistle, isn't it?
Exactly. It is play to the whistle, and it will take
just another thing that we've got to play to the whistle on. Like, offside used to be, like, you saw the flag, you stopped.
Exactly.
But now we don't have that luxury, I guess.
Yeah, I mean... Sorry, one sec.
Riley's just knocking over fucking everything.
Yeah.
Being a nightmare of a dog.
Yeah. Right. So, it is one of those play to the whistle kind of situations. He's fucking leaving that now. It's play to the whistle situation, and I think it's something that people are going to have to get used to over time. That's the most important thing. But Liverpool seem to have gone in with this naivety, really, that it's just going to work straight away, and I don't know if it's going to. I do think we'll beat Arsenal this weekend, don't get me wrong, but
it might be an acid test for this high line, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a point where Liverpool might win this game 5-3. Yeah. Liverpool might win this game, with a high scoring game, and it's not necessarily something we would have to do last season. Time will tell.
Yeah. It is. It's not panic stations yet with regards to the defensive line, because we know how good they were last season, and we know how brilliant Van Dijk is, and how brilliant Robertson and Alexander-Arnold is, and Matip towards the end of last season was brilliant, and Gomez back fit again. So like all the ingredients are there. It's just a slightly different system that we've just got to wait and see if it pays off. If it is just a bit of naivety, How good's Mane though?
It's alright, isn't it? I mean, you can't really. I could sit here and talk about him for absolute days, and the fact that he's just come in with no pre-season whatsoever. He plays 16 minutes against Norwich, then plays 105, I think it is, against Chelsea, and then a 90 against Southampton. And for the 195 minutes he plays against Chelsea and Southampton, he's the best player on the pitch.
Yep.
And that's an absolute testament to his belief in the fact that he's already said he doesn't actually believe in tiredness. He said tiredness is a mental thing. He doesn't believe that he's actually tired. I think this is a man who just loves playing football as much as anything else. And Liverpool are reaping the rewards of somebody who's probably having the best year. Well, he's easily having the best year of his career.
Oh, yeah.
And
2019's been fucking brilliant.
I think if he wins the African Nations and he'd have clearly won the Ballon d'Or, not the Ballon d'Or, the Golden Boot, he would be in for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he's tied with Salah and Aubameyang and Algeria go on to win the African Nations, I think it probably tarnishes him somewhat. But yeah, he's been fantastic. He really has been fantastic. And I mean, the goal he scores against Southampton is nothing short of ridiculous, and somehow he outdid the second goal he scores against Chelsea.
It is stunning. Like, we talked about it last season, how the added focus on Salah would free Mane up, and then we saw the returns of that when he got joint top goal scorer for the season. And it's just like players should be more attuned to Mane now. They should be better at marking him, like they got a little bit better at marking Salah, but they're just not yet. Like, I know he's only just come back and he's only played a few minutes at Norwich and then at Southampton, but he is just such a strange player.
Yeah.
Like, he's so unpredictable. Salah's quite a predictable player, I think. Firmino's a weirdo unto his own. But, like, Firmino's doesn't have a position, really. He's just that in the middle there, just making the goals happen for other people. Yeah. But Mane is so unpredictable in his attacking play that I just don't see how defenders can ever properly get used to him.
I mean, it was something I said to you a couple of years ago. I can't even remember if we were doing this at the time, to be honest. But the thing that really annoyed me about Sadio Mane is that he only ever had the ability to go onto his right side. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, maybe not the ability, but he only ever had the willingness to go onto his right side. And now you're seeing him just go on the outside if he feels like it. And now you're seeing him still cut inside, but it's not always a shot. Sometimes it's bending one in the far corner. Sometimes it's just laying it off or making a clever pass.
Sometimes it's for the overlap from
exactly.
Robbo.
Sometimes it's just a bit of intelligent movement to allow Robertson to get in as well. And it's something Liverpool are really benefiting from this season. We've been fantastic, and he's been a major part of that. He just has. I mean, obviously we're talking 3 games, and Mane's played 2 and a bit of them. But if you're using it as a marker going forward, he's been Liverpool's best player this season
so far.
And if I was picking my player of the year again for Liverpool, it would be Sadio Mane again. Yeah. He's going to be I think it'll be Sadio Mane again.
Cool.
I probably said someone different last week, but
probably.
Yeah, I think I said Sterling. And with the beauty of hindsight, that's probably going to be Kevin De Bruyne as well, because he was fantastic against Spurs. I mean, we haven't really talked much about Liverpool's goals against Norwich, to be honest. I mean, the first half performances, the first 60 minutes against Norwich is brilliant. Phenomenal. We let Norwich back in through the goal, obviously, but I think
we let them into the game before that.
I think Liverpool just got to a point where we just kind of went, all right, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done.
Exactly.
And we aren't. Yeah, we aren't conceding now. We're done. We're done with this. We'll take the 4-1. We'll take the 4-1. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, definitely. But because we knew we had a big game in midweek and then a difficult game at Southampton afterwards. It's one where we've got to watch ourselves. We've got to watch our legs.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no point in burning yourself out when you're 4-0 up. Liverpool could have went on to win that game 7-0 if we'd have fancied it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just the way it's been this season. This dog is absolutely winding me up. He's tangling himself in the F1 wire.
Every day of your life.
I know, every single day. he's so starved of attention, clearly, isn't he?
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, Norwich is probably the benchmark for what you expect from a performance now, which is a sad thing to say, to be fair, because it's a pretty high benchmark.
It is, but we're that good. We are second favourites for the title. We are favourites in our eyes for the Champions League. We are that good. We need to be putting teams to the sword like we did against Norwich. Obviously, against Southampton, a little bit extenuating circumstances.
Playing 120 minutes in midweek.
In Istanbul.
In Istanbul, exactly. Partying as well until the early hours by the looks of things, and then flying back. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to do. And not to mention as well, like, you look at the team that starts as well, it's a very strong team that starts against Southampton. Like, I wasn't expecting us to go that strong. I thought we'd be like, maybe a Rigi starting with at least Ryan Brewster on the bench or something like that. But no, we go with the main from three. We go with a midfield that excited a lot of people in Fabinho,
it's a change
Wijnaldum,
midfield,
Milner.
to be fair.
It is a change midfield because I think Jordan Henderson starts the Southampton game if he hadn't played 120 minutes against Chelsea. The original plan was Henderson would be rested for the Super Cup and then Keita would play.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously Naby Keita did an on Lallana, picks up a silly injury. But even in the back four, we're talking about Trent, Matip, Virgin, Robertson. Three of the four of them played a lot of football in the Super Cup.
Oxlade-Chamberlain was really good, I thought.
I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain was really good. Who did I say play? Did I say just then? I said, I put Fabinho in the midfield, didn't start. It's winning out of the Milner and Oxlade-Chamberlain, that was it, yeah. A lot of people got very excited about the team this time.
Yeah, well, it's a good team.
It is on paper. I do think we struggled in the midfield.
I think it's been kind of a similar theme throughout all three games, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got the midfield quite right just yet, like we had it last season. But I'm, again, not panic stations yet. I think that will come with time.
Yeah.
And we know that the midfield is kind of our least creative area.
Ironic.
Most of our creativity comes from the wings, through the fullbacks and through Mane and Salah cutting in. But I think we'll see that. Once Oxlade-Chamberlain gets properly up and running, and if Keita ever comes back from his muscle injury, I think we'll see the midfield clicking a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange one, to be fair, because there was a lot of excitement about it, but then you're looking at him, Fabinho's not in the midfield, and he's Liverpool's best midfielder.
He is.
Oxlade-Chamberlain looked so much better through the centre than he did when he started up front against Chelsea.
Oh, he's a midfielder now. That's just... It's like if you put Jordan Henderson out on the wing, he's not going to look as good. He's just not.
I think there's a...
I'll say Chamberlain still does have it in his locker to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But he is a midfielder to me.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't... I wouldn't disagree with that, to be fair. I think there's a point now, but it does make you question whether or not we should have bought another attacking player. Yeah, because something that was in the mindset was Oxlade-Chamberlain will be able to cover on the wing. Maybe he still will. Maybe he's just a bit rusty still. We're still very early on in the season, but we'll see.
I mean, it's different skill sets for the different positions, and if he's just properly bringing himself back from injury, maybe being a reserve winger will come later because it's a more explosive position and it's more reaction based and. It's a lot faster than playing that number 8. That number 8, he gets to get the ball facing goal and looking up and picking out a pass, which he loves doing, and he loves driving forward with the ball. When he's a winger, he's running off the ball quite a lot. He's waiting for passes from other people, and he's trying to beat an offside trap. Like, it's different skills, and I feel like coming back from injury, his midfield skills will be ready before his winger skills will. If that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my arse.
I think, Oxlade-Chamberlain's game, whenever he's been a winger, has relied a lot on pace. Mm-hmm. And it's not something he has to rely on as much in midfield. It's still a very useful skill to have.
Oh, definitely.
But
it's more when he's driving forward with the ball.
Exactly, and that's what Liverpool need with Oxlade-Chamberlain. Mm-hmm. He confused the life out of me as well because I was like, Daniel Sturridge is playing. He's not playing, but
it is strange seeing him not being Sturridge.
Yeah.
Has he sealed his move to
Trabzonspor, isn't it?
Yeah. I can never say that.
I'm not gonna lie, and probably a bit controversial to be honest. I can't understand that why any black footballer would ever choose to go and play in Turkey. At this point in time, to be honest. Don't know. It's one of those, but it's his decision.
More power to him.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to fight against these kind of things. Racism and hiding from it isn't always the answer for it, obviously. But it's such a fucking horrible place for that kind of thing. That you've seen players just openly just stop playing in the middle of the game because of what's happened. So we'll see. Hopefully nothing like that happens to Danny, because we all love him to bits.
We do.
So I guess we've covered the first 3 games there broadly. So predictions for the Arsenal game, I guess.
I think it's going to be an interesting game. I kind of agree with you. I think there's going to be goals in it. I think we're going to get caught. I'm
very glad.
But Aubameyang really, really scares me. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant player.
I'm very glad we're playing it this way round. Anfield this early on.
Yeah.
Because I think if we were playing at the Emirates, I'd be a bit concerned about dropping points this early on this season. But I do think at Anfield we'll have too much for them. And then, I mean, we suffered from that last year, where we play Arsenal November 3rd last year. I remember the date very well.
I guess.
I guess. But yeah, I mean, we play Arsenal while they're in their pomp. Mm-hmm. And then when we play them a couple of weeks later on, late December, they're dying off. And we are just on the end of our fantastic December run ourselves as well. But we beat them 5-1, no problem at all. So I am glad we're playing it this way round, this time. I see a high scoring game in this, and
I definitely see a win.
Yeah, I see a win. If I'm gonna give you a prediction, I'd probably say 4-2. Like that's how high scoring I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with something like that.
Yeah, like maybe it's tight and it's 3-2 and we're looking at it and we're just everyone's a bit tense because Anfield has a tendency to do that, and Arsenal are maybe bombarding us a little bit, and then there's a counter attack and Liverpool score. And 4-2, and everyone just feels better straight away.
There was a game against Arsenal a couple of years ago. We were winning 2-1, and then they were proper battering us, and we just quickly counter Origi down the wing, crosses to Wijnaldum, and it's like we won. It's like we scored the winner again. It was so fucking good, like a relief from that goal. Yeah,
I mean it's a completely different scale, but. That is exactly what Origi's goal felt like in the Champions League final.
I wasn't there. Thanks for reminding me.
Mate, I'm telling you now.
I know.
I know. I've never felt so many people actively scared of Liverpool conceding a goal. Like, we were genuinely, all of us, just like, it's fucking coming! Do something! Do fucking something! And, like, people getting proper pissed off. We're in the Champions League final, and people are going, you're fucking shit! What are you doing?
And you're winning.
And we're winning 1-0. We're 10 minutes away from winning the Champions League, and then the instant just fucking relief.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how a goal can do that. It really is amazing. But yeah,
so that's what we want at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're after. The instant relief.
I'm going to say 3-1 then, because it's going to be 2-1. So not actually that high score in a game. Yeah. It's going to feel like it. It's going to feel like
end-to-end stuff. End-to-end stuff. I mean, we say this. Liverpool might just walk out and dominate them. Liverpool,
watch it be 1-0.
Liverpool are very capable of just doing that, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's true. Their defence is not good. Like, they brought in David Luiz to be their leader, and he is not a good defender.
What do you make of Socrates' comments today about how he believes Liverpool are easier to defend against than Burnley?
That's a Madrid saying, Anfield? What?
Yeah, exactly.
That's stupid. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't be so stupid.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? I mean, I couldn't... I don't know where he's got that from.
I liked what Unai Emery said, saying that, like, I don't think it's a good time to play Liverpool. I don't think any time is a good time to play Liverpool. I don't want to play Liverpool.
That's better, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, a back four of back five of Bent Leno, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, David Luiz and Nacho Monreal, I think it's a great time to play Arsenal.
Yeah, we're scoring
it's
5.
It's a very good
9-0.
time to play Arsenal. There's midfield concerns with them going forward, but if Liverpool's defence can get back to somewhat what it was last season, what it has been since Virgil van Dijk signed for Liverpool, let's be honest here, I don't see Arsenal finding a way to score more goals than we can, because we are very good at scoring goals.
Front three is better than their front three.
I said ages ago we were going to do this, and we just kind of forgot about it. So, Matt, you can have any Arsenal player in the Liverpool squad. Who are you signing?
In the squad?
Any Arsenal player you want comes into this Liverpool squad and improves this Liverpool squad. Who are you getting? Any of them.
Do I have to be mindful of game time in the future? Are they going to be happy?
No, it's just if you were turning around and in the summer just gone and you were just basically adding to the squad like we all thought we were going to, and you could have had anyone from Arsenal for some reason, who would be the one player you'd take from Arsenal to add to this Liverpool squad? Might not be their best player. I mean, because their best player is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
It is, yeah.
But it might not be the obvious choice because he's not coming in and starting instead of Firmino. So who do you come in and who do you bring in? Who do you think would be the choice?
That is interesting.
It's a good question, isn't it?
It is a good question. We're going to start doing this every week.
Yeah, I want to start doing this every week.
I can't wait for Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley. Ashley Barnes. No.
Norwich. Pookie.
Yeah, Pookie.
Right now. He's in my fantasy team.
We can do Norwich and Southampton if you'd really want to right now.
Well, I just answered Pookie.
Southampton for me is. You're
gonna say Ings?
No, it's not. It's not Danny Ings. I've always had a lot of time for Oriol Romeo.
Yeah.
I might say James Ward-Prowse because we haven't got a free kick taker. I think he had something from there, but I mean we've got Trent, but James Ward-Prowse was a free kick specialist. But yeah, but from Arsenal, I
think it's that Ceballos, because I think he's the kind of midfielder that we're kind of lacking. He's a set piece specialist. He's really creative. He's really tricky. He's kind of in that. What Coutinho was trying to be in a deeper role at Barca, but didn't pull it off. Obviously, I'm not saying he's as good as Coutinho.
Very few people are.
Yeah.
Well done on you move to Bayern Munich.
He's going to be the best player in that fucking German league, isn't he? It's going to be him and Sancho.
Wanted to discuss that actually as well. We'll cover that in a minute.
But yeah, I think it's him because I think our midfield is missing a player like him.
I'll give you that in 3 months if you still feel the same way.
Okay.
Because Arsenal have had a lot of players down the years where you thought he's got something special, and there are already pundits comparing him to Cesc Fabregas, which is a fucking nightmare. For me,
David Luiz.
Yeah,
Granit Xhaka.
David Luiz. No, for me
Mustafi.
right now, I might just keep picking the goalkeeper of the team we're playing. For me, it's probably Lucas Torreira, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
He's a fucking great footballer. I think in a couple of years' time he'll be well over Arsenal and he'll be playing at Barcelona or someone like that.
Arsenal are weird because I feel like they're one midfielder away from actually having a good one. Good midfield.
I think they've been that for years.
The fact that they still have to play one of either Granit Xhaka or fucking Guendouzi. The fact that they have to play one of those means it's not a good midfield.
Do you know the main problem with Arsenal though is that they have this big database of signings that they can possibly make, and someone a long time ago just left forwards on. And no one's quite worked out how to put defenders and midfielders on, because if they knew some of the defenders you could get for the money they've just spent on Nicolas Pepe, they would it would blow their minds. Because
I'm telling you,
that's why they signed David Luiz. They know him.
Their plan for this season is 2 strikers and a winger. Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool, 13-14. That is their plan.
It's good. I mean, it's a fucking good plan. It very nearly worked. Oh, that's offside. That's so offside. Sorry, we're watching Hull Blackburn at the moment. Look at him impeding the goalkeeper.
What a prick.
Pathetic. But yeah, I mean, I'm going Lucas Torreira. I think he's a very good midfielder. I think he would add a bite to Liverpool's midfield that Fabinho has as well. But I just think if you put him in, not to say he's better than Wijnaldum, but I think he does. You know, when Wijnaldum's playing really well he starts winning the ball back like with ease, Lucas Torreira has that about him anyway. He needs to work on the going forward aspect of his game, but I think he's a quality footballer, and he would be a sensible choice, I think. But yeah,
sound
okay. We've mentioned them briefly there. I want to talk about a little bit about Philippe Coutinho's move to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Because Bayern Munich will be a Champions League rival this season, so I suppose it is somewhat relevant.
What I wanted to say is, I want Bayern. I want Bayern at some point in the Champions League. I want to face Coutinho and make him cry again.
Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I mean, we did them last season. There's no reason to think we wouldn't do them again.
Exactly. They've sold their best defender back to Dortmund.
I mean, they have, but he is old.
Still their best.
Bayern Munich have went out and bought a lot of players this summer, and I don't fully understand all the players they've bought, to be honest. I don't get Philippe Coutinho in that team. He fills a very James Rodriguez shaped hole in that team, but James Rodriguez probably wouldn't have been suited to Bayern either. They've just lost Frank Ribery and Ian Robben, so really they needed another winger. They went out and got Ivan Perisic on loan, who is a right-footed winger who plays on the left-hand side. It's baffling to me, to be honest. I don't really understand it. Kingsley Coman's there, Alphonso Davies is there, the youngster. It's a weird decision, unless you're going to play him through the middle, which is why he's leaving Barcelona, because he can't get minutes through the middle, because he's not good enough to play for the middle for Barcelona. So why is he good enough to play there for Bayern Munich?
Maybe when they've got different expectations at Bayern.
Maybe, but
Barca.
Even then, they've got players of the calibre of Leon Goretzka and Renato Sanchez, who couldn't make it in the Premier League but is somehow fantastic there. Serge Gnabry, who couldn't make it in the Premier League but is somehow fantastic there.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe that is it.
If you can't make it in one league, go to Germany.
They spent over 100 million quid on new defenders, and that's only on two defenders, on Benjamin Pavard and Lucas Hernandez. I mean, there's a lot of change going on at Bayern Munich. There might be a change of playing style, but I just don't get it. But there is a beauty in the fact that also they are currently linked with Emre Can. And there was obviously that famous Klopp comment about if you stay at Liverpool, they will build statues to you. If you go somewhere else, you will be just another player.
Yep.
And it seems like it's happened for both of them.
Yep. At least with Emre Can, he didn't stop playing for us. He didn't feign an injury or anything. But
well, you say that he was out for at least 2 months at the end of his contract, and he just came on in the Champions League final out of nowhere. I mean, I'm not accusing Emre Can of anything there, but
didn't come out in the. Didn't come out in the press saying he had a great sadness, though, did he?
No, he didn't. And in all honesty, Coutinho didn't either. It was his cousin, apparently.
He's still a prick. Let me have this.
No, he is, and
I do really find it ironic that Chan's been told he's not needed. He's not needed.
I find that hilarious, to be honest. I mean, it is sad for them as well, to be fair, because they are very good footballers. Emre Can had the potential to be a very good footballer. He might not end up being a good footballer because, he might just end up getting passed between every club now, to be honest. He might end up by Leverkusen again, do you know what I mean? I wonder if he is actually good enough to make his way into that Bayern Munich team. I don't think he is, to be honest.
Probably not.
But yeah, it is interesting how Liverpool have gone on to a different level whilst those two have, struggled. There's no nice way of putting it, to be fair. Neither of them have excelled, to be honest, to the point that they'd want to. I don't think Coutinho's done particularly badly. His record at Barcelona is not bad. It's just, it's not what it was at Liverpool. And it's not Iniesta. That's the thing. That's the main issue he's had, is that he's come in, he's not Neymar. He's not a quick winger who is in the mould of Ronaldinho, which the fans want to see. And he's not Iniesta, who is a club legend. He's not neither of those players. He's the middle ground between the two.
Coutinho does the same things that Messi does, but not as good as Messi. That's what I've seen from Barcelona fans talking about him. Like he tries to do stuff like that, but they've already got Messi to do that. They want someone to do Xavi's job or Iniesta's job.
It's something I think I said to you when he first signed them. There is that he's going to find it hard because he's going to be cutting in field to the same positions that Lionel Messi wants to cut in field. Mm-hmm. He's not a natural left-footed player, so he's going to find it very difficult to find space if he can't come into the Messi space. And I think that's been proven, and it shows we know what we're talking about every now and then. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about it. Is just how Jurgen Klopp was right, and how people who think that they're bigger than Liverpool Football Club are not always fucking right.
You think they regret leaving?
I think Coutinho does. I think if you ask Coutinho, and he's looking round and he's looking at Alisson and Fabinho, who've joined Bobby Firmino, and he must be thinking, for fuck's sake, it could have been. There's
all the Brazilian mates.
Bayern Munich are huge. Right, Bayern Munich are an absolutely massive club, but there's no club in world football right now that I think were bigger than Liverpool Football Club, and that's that's one of the reasons a lot of people are sad about the transfer window that we've just had, that we haven't capitalised on it in a lot of people's opinions, because we could have anyone. If we went out and had the goal to go and buy someone, we could have anyone.
Yeah,
and that's not just
we'd turn anyone's head,
and that's it. And it's the beauty of having Jurgen Klopp. Everyone wants to play for him, and you've got Messi still fucking talking about us, and Barcelona still obsessed with us, and in general, Pep Guardiola can't have a fucking press conference without talking about something to do with Liverpool, and how he gets questioned about the VAR decision in the Tottenham game, and then he mentions about how Adrian's off the line in the Super Cup. It's like, well, we're not playing here, mate. I mean, it's your team who's playing. He's obsessed with us, and everyone seems to be. I think Phil Coutinho regrets it. I do think Emre Can probably does as well, but the speed at which we got Fabinho instead of Emre Can just says to me that Liverpool were fine with that. Liverpool were absolutely fine with that. The fact we've not replaced Coutinho probably suggests that we were favouring moving to a different style anyway. We play different football now to when we had Coutinho. Yeah, we just do. It's probably just quicker, if more than anything else, with Mane playing the same kind of role. But I mean, you saw Phil was dropping deeper and deeper as he played for Liverpool, and he was good at it in the Premier League. It's just a mystery, really, why it's not. There are loads of reasons it's not worked out for him at Barcelona. The main one is he's not Andres Iniesta, but I do think he regrets it. Emre Can always wanted to go back to Germany, so I don't think he's too arsed. If he gets his move back to Bayern, I don't think he's arsed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Funny way you're going about it, going to Juve and then to Germany, but
he won the league.
Yeah,
he won the league. If he'd stayed at Anfield, he won the Champions League. One of them. So I guess that's all the main things.
That's that.
Well, nearly. Got to talk about our greatest team of all time ever since 1992.
Yes.
And the newest
the nominees
entry
are.
Well, we are doing right centre half today, and so far, just as a refresher, we have so far picked for Liverpool's greatest team since football began in 1992. Alisson Becker is in goal, narrowly beating out Pepe Reina, and Trent Alexander-Arnold beat out Steve Finnan last week. Now, we were considering debating this next one, but we both agreed there's no point in the right centre half being a debate, so what we're going to do instead is notable mentions being Stefan Onshow, Martin Skrtel, Joel Matip.
That one. No, wait. He was right back. He played it in that game against Stoke, wasn't it?
Igor Bishkan, when he played there legendarily.
Kyriakos.
Zach Whitbread. But the player we are going with, in spite of all these legends of the
Thiago Ilori.
Yeah, Thiago Ilori. Fucking hell. Never thinking he was going to be fucking boss. Martin Kelly, another one. Thought he was going to be the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the only real contender for this was probably Stefan Onshow. And I mean, you could probably argue Mark Wright as well.
Yeah.
With Rob Jones, but
so that's it. Stefan Onshow.
No, you could, and we will always have the handball against Arsenal in the FA Cup final. But the actual winner is, and it was only ever one clear winner, it is Jamie Carragher. So what we're going to do, instead of having a debate about anyone else, is we're just going to talk about how much we both like Jamie Carragher. This will probably be me talking for the next 15 minutes.
He is Mikey's favourite player, and I am loath to take this away from him.
Well, I mean, me and Matt, we first started uni together in the 2012-2013 season, and the day that Jamie Carragher announced he was retiring, I had to take myself outside of the lesson we were in and just compose myself, because I was nearly crying my eyes out. It was the closest I've been to a moment like that since Michael Owen announced he was leaving Liverpool, and I actually cried. But Jamie,
I remember when Morientes left Liverpool and my brother cried. That was weird.
That is weird.
That was weird. I don't know why he liked him. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him before he played for Liverpool.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, maybe. He always stunk of potential. Morientes, we'll get to strikers. Morientes won't be there.
How dare you?
Sorry, Sam. So Jamie Carragher joined Liverpool in 1987. He made his professional debut on the 9th of October 1996.
That took his time.
I know. Sorry, mid-term professional then. His Liverpool debut was the 8th of January 1997. Scored on his full debut against Aston Villa.
We all thought he was going to be this amazing goal-scoring centre-half.
Well, I mean, I was... I can't lie, I was 4. I wasn't a massive Liverpool fan at the time. I didn't follow football too much when I was 4, but one of them. Jamie Carragher played his last game for Liverpool on the 19th of May 2013. I did cry my eyes out.
And he nearly scored.
So nearly
scored.
I was in the main stand, absolutely sobbing. Never experienced anything like it. Jamie Carragher played a total of 737 games for Liverpool Football Club, scored 5 goals. His win
But how
ratio...
many own goals?
A lot more than that.
I think he scored as many goals for Spurs as he did for us.
It's something like that. He's not far off for United. I know he's not far off for United. He once scored 2 own goals for United in the same game. He win ratio of 54%, won 398 games for Liverpool, drew 167 and lost 172. His honours at Liverpool include an FA Cup in 2001 and 2006, a League Cup in 2001, 2003 and 2012, a UEFA Cup in 2001, which completes the 2001 treble, the Mickey Mouse treble, and of course
the real treble,
Champions League in 2005. So Jamie Carragher
won everything except the league.
Everything except the league. Really, I'm just reading his profile. It just says bought from local. So while I let my dog
local,
while I let my dog have a wee in the garden, just talk to me a little bit about Jamie Carragher.
What can you even say? Like he is Liverpool. He is Liverpool Football Club. Like him and Gerrard. Through all of the noughties, were just the constant mainstay. Riley, will you fuck off? We're just the constant mainstays in that side. And Carragher and Gerrard were different players, like very, very different players. In that Gerrard would kind of lead by example. Carragher would be such a presence on the pitch. Yeah, such a presence on the pitch. He led by. He's your captain in your old sense. He's the one who's
in your traditional
bollocking players. He's having a go at Mignolet for screaming at his defenders. Like no, like it's your job to save a fucking goal, save a goal. And he just throws his body on the line, and the tackles that he makes are fucking amazing. I don't even know what I can say about him. He is Mr. Liverpool.
That's the thing. I mean, it's ironic we can have this conversation about an Everton fan. Someone who used to support Everton. I mean,
they will claim that, but like,
I mean, he did. He did used to support Everton.
He grew up an Everton fan, but he's a Liverpool fan now. So
that's it. I mean, he talks at length in his autobiography about like how there was one game in particular where Liverpool got beat by Man United, and it was the turning point where he was just like, yeah, this is done now. I'm Liverpool through and through. And I mean, it speaks volumes that his dad, Philly Carragher, who was one of the most legendary Evertonians that there was in the 80s in terms of fans, is now a legendary Liverpoolian instead. I love things like that. But
you've got to do it for your kids, haven't you?
Well, that's it. I always remember.
If your kid ends up playing for Everton, are you going to support Everton?
Yeah, this podcast will die. And if we're still doing it,
the Dixie Dean podcast.
Yeah, I think so. I'll think of something good.
The story of the Big Dunk.
Yeah, the story of Big Dunk. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing with Jamie Carragher is, I mean, you loathe to point out his best game for Liverpool because there were so many. I mean, Istanbul was. It always hurt me. Jamie Carragher never got the recognition as like man of the match in Istanbul because he was, for my money, the best player on like.
Drove himself into the ground.
Yeah, no one give more for Liverpool that night. And Steven Gerrard was fantastic, don't get me wrong. But in terms of just sheer determination to make sure Liverpool won that fucking game.
Yeah, just pushing past the limits of what his body would let him do. Like, he was pulling up with cramps so badly at the end there.
Well, that's it. Jamie Carragher gave everything. And he couldn't walk at the end. Exactly, he couldn't walk at the end. There's a tackle on, I think it's Shevchenko. No, it's Kaka. I think Shevchenko pulls the ball back and Kaka's just literally about to tap it in and Carragher just lashes a leg out from absolutely nowhere and is rolling on the floor after it in absolute agony.
He's on the floor for a while after that.
Yeah, and it's just... There's a bit where he actually goes off with cramp. Like, he makes a tackle, he's rolling around on the floor and he just shouts over to the physio as the physio runs on cramp. Physio deals with him. He goes off the pitch injured as you had to. Well, you still have to now, I guess. And then the first thing that happens is the ball comes to him and he just lashes it clear in the exact same style. And he's just not got a care in the world about doing it. And he was, for my money, the best. At the time of Istanbul, he was the best defender in the world.
Yep.
And John Terry said that. John Terry said there was no one better in 2005 than him. And he wasn't the quickest and he wasn't the strongest, but his sheer reading of the game made up for a lot of that. And his ability to be in the right place at the right time to make a last-ditch tackle always seemed to make up for it as well.
But, the last-ditch tackles thing. I know we talk about like the fact that good defenders don't have to make those tackles, but Carragher would put himself in the position where he can make those tackles as well as being the masterful reader of the game and being able to just see how the game is developing.
That's it. I mean, there's a special skill with certain players where you can just see like 2 moves ahead of everyone.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's one or the other. You can do that, or you can like lash yourself to tackles like Martin Skirtle. Mm-hmm. But it's really rare to have both.
Yeah, exactly. Sami Hyypiä had both. Sami Hyypiä was absolutely world class in positioning. We'll get to Sammy at some point, but if he gets in. But I mean, in terms of just embodying everything you want to see as a football fan, Carragher was that. And whether it's running over to the fans when we win the Merseyside derby at Goodison and just going absolutely mad, whether it's the work he's done since, when you see even when he's talking as a pundit now, do you know what I mean? And he's so passionate still about the club, and you can kind of tell that everything still means a lot to him. And it's just literally like Steven Gerrard will always be remembered as Mr. Liverpool and Captain Fantastic. But I don't think Liverpool achieve anywhere near what we achieve. I don't think we win in Istanbul if it's not for Jamie Carragher. Mm-hmm. I think having the two of them together, one, as you say, one leading by example and one leading vocally instead. I always wanted Carragher to be captain when I was a kid, always, because I didn't really understand the Gerrard captaincy thing. Especially after all the Chelsea stuff, and I always wanted it to be Carragher. I always thought that'll put Gerrard in his place, kind of thing. Because when I was young and naive and thought, Gerrard will stay even if we do the captain's job. But it was like, I always wanted it to be Carragher.
You've got to think, who does the captaincy mean more to?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like,
he strikes you as the player, that type of player, doesn't he, Carragher, where he's just like, I'm just it wouldn't have needed the armband.
Exactly. It's why I can understand Harry Kane getting the armband for England and Jordan Henderson not, because Henderson doesn't need it. Harry Kane probably does.
Yeah, and that's probably
just one of them.
Yeah, it's probably the thing. I mean, Steven Gerrard grew up dreaming of being a Liverpool captain. Jamie Carragher probably grew up wanting to be Everton's captain. So it's just one of them.
Yeah, not allowed to be Liverpool's captain.
No, unfortunately not. We'll never forget going to see Liverpool play Lyon in 2009, and Martin Kelly was making his debut at right back. And Jamie Carragher ripped him to pieces all game just because he was just dragging him into position. It was honest to God. I mean, I've sat close to the pitch and I've heard people shouting, but I could have had a conversation with Carragher. It was ridiculous. Like I could hear every word he was saying, just ragging him here and there, and leading him through the game. Like, you know, well, dragging him through the game. It was fantastic. I mean, I think Kelly got man of the match. That's how good like he was playing. Carragher was still going on him all the way through it, and just epitomised everything great about great defending. I think old school defending as well. He's not Virgil van Dijk. No, Virgil van Dijk is a very different kind of defender. He's not Sergio Ramos either, or Aaron Merritt-Laporte. That type of defender.
He deals with it. He doesn't. There's no pissing about with it.
Exactly, and Liverpool. I say Liverpool. Man United has just paid £85 million for Harry Maguire, based on the ability he has to bring the ball out of defence. And Liverpool have always relied on that. Alan Hansen used to do stuff like that. Daniel Agger was great at it as well. Van Dijk's got the ability as well. Somehow Joel Matip does as well.
looks like a newborn giraffe when he
thinks he's got the ability to do it.
It makes me so nervous.
But yeah, I mean, Carragher wasn't that. Carragher was your sensible defender, and if in doubt, kick it out kind of defender.
No nonsense.
No nonsense. That's the best words to describe him. Yeah, and it's something that
Brexit.
No, how dare you? Socialist, working class hero.
There we go.
Working class hero. That's Jamie Carragher down to the ground for me. Got a T-shirt that says it on it as well. One question I do want to ask you about Jamie Carragher. I should have probably asked you about it with Rayner as well. It's 13-14. Do Liverpool win the title if Jamie Carragher hadn't retired in 12-13? Okay, sad. Because somebody once he did a
just because Kolo Touré would not have played that game where he passed across the back line against West Brom. I think
West Brom or Hull. It's one of the two.
Yeah, we would have won that game rather than drawing or losing, whichever one it was, because Jamie Carragher wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
That's the whole argument, like, whatever.
I don't disagree. I completely don't disagree. I think
we win the league in 13-14 with Carragher, and it breaks my heart every single time, because the reason Carragher retired in 12-13 was because he said he would only stay for another year if he could win the league. And Rodgers said, I don't think we can win the league next year, so he retired.
I think it meant so much to him and Gerrard. You just always knew that, like, they would have done anything for it. The hardest thing with Carragher was that he was a pundit straight after, so you got to hear him all the way through the run, and you could just see him. The closer we edged towards it, it was just a little piece of him died more and more each week. And I wonder if, I doubt there was, but I wonder if there was a part of him that had a bit of relief about, like, Liverpool not winning it, that season. Do you know what I mean? Where you're just looking at it and you're just like,
I bet he's fuming at Kolo Touré.
I bet he's fuming at Simon Mignolet as well, to be fair.
True, yeah.
That's why I say I should have asked you with Rayner when we did Rayner as well, because I fully believe if Pepe Reina had stayed on for that season and we hadn't got side of Mig, that we'd have
even with
won the league that
Reina not being as good.
That's it. That's what I mean. Reina had Chris Packett's friends that season, and I still think if he's in that game, if he's dealing with that situation, that one-on-one situation against Demba Ba, for example, I don't think Demba Ba slots it underneath him.
Well, it's not even that. Like, Reina had more control of his area than Mignolet ever has. So one-on-one maybe doesn't save them, but the stupid goals that we conceded from our back four just being just all over the place probably don't happen if we have someone like Rayner instead of Mignon.
Well, that's it, and someone like Carragher as well. I mean, Carragher playing alongside would have probably been Daniel Agger that season, because Martin Scale played a lot of games that season. It is hard to. Hard. It's very easy to forget how Martin Scale scored a lot of goals as well that season.
Scored 2 against Arsenal in the 5-1 win.
Scored 2 against Cardiff as well. Arsenal's a perfect segue for this weekend, I guess. He did play a lot of games that season. He did do very well offensively. But I think if you offer Liverpool, if you look back now and you could have traded his attacking ability for defensive nous in the form of Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher alongside, for example, Mamadou Sakho, he'd have fucking pulled them apart, but I think Liverpool would have got the best out of Sakho that season had we had an experienced defender like Carragher alongside him, rather than a walking disaster like Martin Scale next to him instead. I mean, Kolo Touré was just... he was at a point where he was a meme. Kolo Touré, you know what I mean?
Well, he still is.
Yeah, he still is, but he was a great defender in his time. But I just think someone who would have... Colo had done it all.
Yeah.
Whereas if it had been Cara, it would have just been everything, throwing everything on the line for it. And I'm not saying Touré didn't do that, but it's a different type. You just understand it more when you get the club, like Carragher did. Whereas we signed Touré for the experience of he's played for Arsenal, he's played for Man City. I mean, it's one of them. I mean, one thing that never gets mentioned with Carragher as well, and wrap this up now, but he breaks his leg horrendously against Blackburn. I think it's in 2003. Mm-hmm. And Lucas Neal, nearly ends his career. He tries to get up and walk on it, and he's like, no, can't put any weight on that. Fucking, it's broke. It's broke. He plays in the Champions League final, within 2 years of that, and they're a great.
It is incredible to come back.
There are great comeback stories from stuff like that, but it was a bad leg break, and he not only comes back, but he's Liverpool's most important defender for the next 8 years. Mm-hmm. 8 years. I mean, there's a blip where he drops out on the briefly under Dalglish and then more under Rodgers, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's truly impressive that he actually manages to come back like as strong as he does for Liverpool. So my hero, love him to bits. Cried on his last game. Nearly cried the day he announced he was retiring.
Nearly crying now.
Mm. And he is quite comfortably next to Trent Alexander-Arnold in the best Liverpool team ever to play the game since football existed in 1992.
I love this title. I love how it evolves every week.
Yeah, it needs to, doesn't it?
As football evolves, so do we.
Yeah, exactly. Football has been evolving ever since its inception in 1992. Did you not see any of the documentaries on Sky about how football started with the class of 92?
Oh, yeah.
That's how football began.
I love all them. I love the class of 92. I love what they're doing with Salford City and the Football League.
It's a true underdog story.
I love all that.
It's a true underdog story of how a billionaire and four or five millionaires can turn a simple football club into a very good football club. But it warms the cockles of your heart, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, fucking joke. That's been this week's. So just to clarify, our defence so far is Alisson Becker in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, and Jamie Carragher at centre half. Next week we do left centre half. I can tell you for free that the two main head-to-head contestants are going to be Virgil van Dijk or Sami Hyypiä, and I think we're probably going to discuss Daniel Agger as well, because it's Daniel Agger. Everyone loves Daniel Agger.
I would quite like to talk about Daniel Agger.
Yeah, I think it'd be a nice episode. We could talk about Mamadou Sakho as well if you want, or Dexy Lovren. But it will probably be.
And on that
note, as we were saying before, Liverpool play Arsenal this weekend. It's our first proper test of this season. Can't underestimate this Arsenal team. They've got a lot of attacking ability about them. Liverpool,
they got no defence.
Liverpool exactly defend them not poorly, but not as well as they were last season. It should make for an interesting game for the neutral. It should be absolutely fucking horrible for the rest of us. We wouldn't have it any other way. So that's been this episode.
Mum's coming to this one, so that'll be fun.
Well, there you go. And she's got a good record at Anfield this season.
She's never watched a loss.
Well, there you go.
She's only watched one draw, and that was in the FA Cup, I think. And the rest of them wins.
There you go, then.
Since she's been coming on, she's come a lot when.
Yeah, I was about to
before I was born.
I was about to say that's you're to do with that tradition as well. Jamie's literally not going this week because she hasn't been for the last 2 seasons when we played Arsenal and we beat them both times. That's the reason she's decided to sell the Arsenal ticket. So, as superstitions go. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening to this week's. If you like what you hear, please share it. We do really appreciate it. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Spotify, on iTunes, on WordPress, on Podbean, on Podcast Addict, and on YouTube as well.
All the things.
All the things.
In all good bookstores and most bad ones. Yep.
Well, no. On all good podcast distributors and some bad ones as well.
There we
go. Yeah, thank you very much. Up the Reds, and hopefully Liverpool keep their 100% start to the season
top of the
this
league.
week. To stay top of the league, up the fucking Reds.
See ya.